The night Seoul forgot the color of mercy. The elevator doors slid open on the penthouse of Byeon Global with a soft, soulless chime. Rain traced the glass like tears that never fell. Byeon Hyun clutched her coat tighter, her fingers trembling as she stepped into a world built on secrets worth more than lives. "Why did you bring me here?" she whispered, her voice barely a breath against the city's hum. "Because," a deep voice answered, "you're carrying something my father believes he can control." Byeon Hyun stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, his silhouette sharp against the neon skyline. Designer suit, Rolex gleaming cold on his wrist, everything about him read power except the shadow in his eyes. He turned slowly, his gaze dropping to the slight curve beneath her sweater. "You're pregnant." "You already knew," she shot back, defiant even though she wanted to cry. "You ran the test before my name even left your lips." He stepped closer, the air between them tightening. "You're not the first pregnant woman who's walked into this building, Hyun. But you might be the first one I can't predict." Memories of one rainy night flickered in her mind. His hand on the door of a luxury car, his voice low. "I don't do one-night stands." Then laughter, wine, betrayal, and the way his body shielded her from the storm both outside and within. "Your father found me in a hospital," she said, swallowing hard. "Offered me money to disappear. Offered you excuses if I ever told you. And you said no," Hyunwoo murmured, almost admiring. "Because it's yours," she answered, "not his." The corporate office buzzed below, 42 floors of glass and steel where deals were made with a smile and a hidden knife. Phones rang, messages flashed. Hyunwoo's father has a meeting. The warehouse is quiet for tonight. Byeon Hyun is requesting an audience. "Hyun," Hyunwoo said softly, as if summoning a ghost. "She's been pregnant with this company's secrets since she was 21. Is that jealousy?" Hyun asked sharply. "Or fear?" He almost smiled. "Let's call it survival." Later that night, in the dim glow of a rooftop bar perched above the city, neon signs painted their faces in streaks of red and blue. Across the table, Hyun watched them with a smile that never reached her eyes. "Congratulations, Hyunwoo," she said, spinning her glass like a roulette wheel. "The first time a Byeon heir is made by accident, not by arrangement." Hyun felt her stomach twist. "You say that like it's a stain." Hyun tilted her head. "Isn't it? A baby born from a night you didn't plan, a heart you didn't choose." Hyunwoo's hand tensed on his glass. "Enough. Fine," she said smoothly. "Then let's talk about Manjang's plan." Inside the Mafia warehouse, the air was cold and tasted like blood and metal. Boxes towered around them, each labeled with codes that whispered weapons, debt, no names. Byeon Manjang paced like a caged tiger, his voice cutting through the dark. "If the baby is born, the press will call it a miracle. If it's not, they'll call it misfortune." "It's not your decision," Hyunwoo said quietly. His father stopped, eyes narrowing. "In this family, everything is mine to assign meaning." The camera followed Hyun's bare feet as she walked through the warehouse, hands trembling, listening to a conversation that wasn't meant for her. "If the mother disappears," Manjang said, "the story reshapes itself." She froze. Her heart roared in her ears. "You'd kill me," she whispered, though she hadn't meant to speak aloud. "No," Hyunwoo answered behind her, voice raw. "I'd kill him first." Rain poured over the city as the storm reached its peak. The police interrogation room was small, cold, lit only by a single yellow bulb that flickered like a dying star. "You want to talk about family," the detective said, tossing a file onto the table. "Let's talk about yours." Hyunwoo sat across from him, suit jacket still on, tie loosened, reflections of flickering lights in his eyes. "You're not the victim here," the detective said. "Your father is the one dangling leads like bait." "Then who am I?" Hyunwoo asked, almost amused. "The loose thread," the detective replied. "The only one who can break." On the other side of the city, in a luxury restaurant cloaked in candlelight and soft piano, Hyun raised her glass to an empty seat. "To the unborn," she said softly, "to no one. May you be loved less than you are used." Dark alley streets swallowed the sound of footsteps. Hyun sprinted, her breath ragged, the baby inside her kicking as if warning her of danger. Behind her, the shadow of a man in a long coat rushed after her, the sound of rain smearing the neon into a blur. A car screeched to a halt. Hyunwoo jumped out, his black coat flaring around him, his eyes wild. "Get in," he snapped. "Why should I trust you?" she cried, soaked, hair clinging to her face. "Because," he said, voice breaking, "if you die tonight, I swear I'll burn everything they built for me." They found refuge in an abandoned building, walls cracked, paint peeling, but the view of the city still majestic through broken windows. For a moment, the world forgot they were enemies, forgot they were pawns, forgot they were fugitives. "You once said," she whispered, "that money can't buy time." "And you," he countered, "challenged me to prove it." "Well," she asked, eyes brimming. "Did you?" He looked at her, then at her belly, then at the rain-streaked glass. "No," he said, "but I'm learning it can buy freedom." The final confrontation came in the penthouse, where it all began. The walls gleamed, the city lights sprawled far below, but the air was choked with the weight of truth. Manjang stood at the center, gun in hand, eyes cold. Cut the tie, he said to his son. It's the only thing between you and the empire. Yeon stepped forward, hands on her stomach, tears streaming. You can't kill me, she said, voice steady despite the fear. That baby is yours too. Hyunwoo's face twisted. You're right, he said, gripping the gun from his father's hand and turning it on the floor instead. The shot echoed through the penthouse like a gunshot to the past. Then I'll kill the empire instead. The police poured in from the rooftop, flashing lights casting chaotic patterns across the glass. Jaime stood at the edge of the balcony, watching the fall of the man she once called mine. You could have had me, she said softly, to no one and everyone. You chose the baby. In the final moments, the storm broke. The rain stopped. The city glowed with a soft morning light that washed over the broken glass and the blood-stained walls. Hyunwoo sat by the hospital window, Yeon asleep in the bed, her hand resting on his. The baby monitor chirped softly, tiny heartbeats echoing through the room like a hymn. You're not my father's heir anymore, she murmured, half awake. You're just a father. He smiled, the first true smile the city had ever seen on him. Then let the world decide whether I'm a monster, he whispered. If I'm the first one to choose a child over an empire. The camera pulled back, showing them small against the sprawling skyline. Two lost souls who found each other in a universe built on lies. The city hummed, neons softened, and for once, the billionaires stopped talking, the mafia stopped scheming, and the only sound that mattered was the sound of a baby's first breath.